Okay, so for lesson 2, we're talking about shape 2, if you're looking at the tab, and I have the shape of the scale above the tab. You can see the root notes. If you're looking at the neck diagrams, this is the second scale down. So this is the one in the middle. So we learned the first one. Now we're going to learn the second one. And you can start to see where the areas of overlap are. And if you look at the tab, I say, okay, this is the A minor pentatonic scale starting on the flatted third on C. So some people will say this is shape 2. And if you know these as major pentatonic, they might say, well, this is shape 1 in major. So this is what I mean about like shape 1, shape 2, all that. Don't get too caught up in that lingo. Think of this as more as like, hey, I learned this first scale, and those, those notes were A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, blah, blah, blah. Where your pinky was out of that first scale, that's a C note. So now we're gonna go there, and I'm gonna play this with my second finger. I'm gonna play that shape that's written out on the neck diagram, where you can look at the tablature. And, I would think to myself, hey, this is A minor pentatonic, but I'm starting on the C note now. But I still need to know where my roots are. So remember from the first scale, we identified our roots as 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret, right? Well, now in this new scale, this new pattern, this new A minor pentatonic starting on C, the A doesn't move, that's still an A. So A's right there, A's right there in this scale. And then we have an A at the 10th fret on the second string. So if you look at this second shape, we're starting on a C note, and then we're playing D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A. So it's the same 5 notes. We're just starting on the C note, okay? So here's A, here's A. I would identify those, and then I would play the shape. So starting at the 8th fret, whatever fingering you use for this, don't get too attached, because when you start playing licks and solos, you're going to have to change fingerings anyway when you start sliding around or moving up and down the neck. So I'll probably play this 2-4, and then when I get here, I'll do 1-3 at the top. So it'll look like this. We're going to double pick it again. We're going to start on C. We know where our A's are, but we're just playing A minor pentatonic, starting on C. So. And then I would say, okay, let's move it up and do it again. Now we're on C sharp or D flat. Where are my C sharps? I want to find those. And then I would think, okay, where's the root? Because we moved up. If you know the neck pretty well, identifying the C sharp is a good way to go, because you're kind of skill stacking and building your knowledge. If you're just learning this, just be concerned about where the root is. That's fine, right? So this would be my A sharp, and this would be my A sharp, or my B flat, since it can be 2 different names. We'll talk about that later in the music theory stuff, but just identify where the root is. We went from A, now we're on A sharp or B flat, and you can see that all on the neck, the note naming neck that is in the diagrams as well. So I would start here. And I would continue that up the neck. So I would learn the first scale, double pick it up the neck, and then I would do the same thing with the second scale. And get both of them under your fingers really well so that you can see these patterns individually, and then I'm going to show you how to put them together. So let's go down to the 2nd fret. You can do the 1st fret if you want. If you do the 1st fret, now you have to deal with an open string, right? So and again, I would continue that from the 1st fret all the way up to the 15th, because you want to get that double picking down, you want to identify where the roots are, and you want to get the shapes, the patterns kind of like muscle memory under your fingers. But just knowing the shapes isn't enough. Every guitar player, horn player, piano players, we all get guilty of just like getting so comfortable with the shapes, we kind of just start blowing through them, and we're not listening and we're not thinking about what we're doing. So knowing the shapes is just the first part of it. Putting all of this together and being able to respond to chord progressions and make decisions about licks and stuff like that's where more of the nuance comes in. But you do need technique, and you do need to know the neck, and you do need to know these scales. So this is a great place to start. Now let's jump in to lesson 3, and we'll talk about how we put these together.